Howdy folks, welcome back to Duke Fraser Productions. In today's video we're going to be talking about whether or not 45 Schofield will work in a gun that fires 45 Colt. Stay tuned. Alright folks, so as we said, the topic of today's video is whether or not 45 Schofield will work in 45 Colt. And the short answer to that is yes, it will in handguns, not in rifles. So essentially, 45 Schofield is a shortened version of the 45 Long Colt. And the history of that is when Smith & Wesson introduced the 45 Schofield, which was named after the Army officer that helped design that gun for Army use, they had to shorten down the 45 Colt because the top break action of the Schofield could not handle the pressure of this cartridge. It's just a little bit too much power. So they shortened that down, so they made what's known as the 45 Schofield cartridge. And other than Schofield being a little bit short, they are almost identical. In fact, some places this 45 Schofield in some circles is referred to as a 45 short Colt. Depending on who you're talking to though. But official, if you're buying ammunition, this is called the 45 Schofield. So as you can see right there, it's just a shorter version. And because of the fact that it has almost the exact same dimensions as the 45 Colt, with the exception of the rim on the case is a little bit bigger, a little bit different. This thing will very easily load into a 45 Colt gun. Now I'm not going to actually show this one for demonstration because this is a live round. It's just one that didn't crimp right when I was reloading, and I haven't pulled it apart yet just to use for this video. But they do load just fine, as you'll see here when we get to the range. And they'll shoot just as good as the 45 Colts. So without further ado, let's go over the range and actually see this in action. Alrighty folks, so I'm out here today with the Cimarron 73 Single Action Army, and we've already done a video of this that you've already seen, but today's video is going to address, can 45 Schofield be shot through a 45 Colt? The answer is to that, yes. The 45 Schofield is basically a 45 Colt that was shortened down. It was shortened down to accommodate the Smith & Wesson Schofield in 45 caliber that was developed for the Army, and it couldn't handle the big the long 45 Colt cartridge with the break action system that it was, so they necked it down, or thinned it down a little bit to a shorter round. But just to show you, it will work in the 73. So first off, I'm going to load the 45 Colt just for fun. We're going to shoot this first, and these are black powder loads with a Lee 200 grain conical. I forget what the model is, but it's a 4.52 diameter bullet. And then we've got about 36 grains of 3FG black powder and a CCI primer. So we're going to take the fire pumpkin over on the side that hadn't been hit yet. We'll hit that with the 45 Colt. And I'm getting a little flinchy here. So the 45 Colt does fine. Man, this gun is getting hot. This is about the third video I filmed today. This is probably round number 50 or 60. So what I'm going to load now is 45 Schofield. Just to show you there. And they load in just fine. And we're going to always do the cowboy load on this channel. A lot of people don't like that, but you know what? It's my channel. My rules. So we're just going to load up 5. And anyway, we've got 5 rounds of the 45 Schofield loaded. Going to hit that same pumpkin again. be honest with you, I think, yeah, it's warm. I think the 45 Schofield loads are more accurate in this gun. Now, back in the old days, the way of taking care of a gummed up gun was to urinate on it. Or so I've read in a few accounts. I know the buffalo hunters that do that, urinate down the barrel to cool them out. We're at a public range, it ain't gonna happen out here. All right, so we're loaded. Second time, 45 Schofield. I wiggled on that last shot, I know I did. If you look, I'm putting a lot of rounds on a tight hole on that pumpkin. I've got 5 rounds left here in my pocket. And we might as well load them up. We'll shoot this one more time. Again, this is a 45 Schofield. I'm just impressed with the fact that this gun, despite being loaded with God knows how many rounds of black powder today, it's still running. Hasn't completely quit on me yet. All right, so 5 rounds. The last 5 rounds we'll do with the 45 Schofield. That's going to take care of it for the range today. I've done 3 videos out here this morning with just one gun. But we're going to go back to the hacienda to do the talking parts. We'll see you there.
I can't even see where it did. Because of the dirt.
Shoot again. Middle of the berm.
I'm shooting way high.
You're right above that other pumpkin there. You hit low. All right, so as you can see, 45 Schofield does all right in this gun. In fact, it's pretty accurate load in this gun. That pumpkin I was shooting at, I'm pretty sure I got all the rounds inside of that hole right there in the center. So it does very well in this gun for that load. Now, traditionally, the United States Army did use the 45 Schofield rounds in their Colt single-action armies. The reason for that was the military adopted a small amount of the 45 Schofields, Smith & Wesson Schofields, for Army use. However, it was not widespread adoption. And for the sake of simplicity, they just kept the 45 Schofield cartridge because that would work in both guns. Whereas the 45 Colt cartridge would not work in the Schofield gun. And so because of that, the Army adopted the Schofield cartridge, and that's what was used from the 1880s onward. And in today's world, you can shoot 45 Schofield through your 45 Colts. Revolvers only. The being that the 45 Schofield is shorter than the 45 Colt, if you stick that in a lever action rifle that's chambered for 45 Colt, what's going to happen is the round, especially in the 66, 73 or Henry repeating rifles, what's going to happen is the rounds are going to jam up in the lifter block, what lifts the next round up to go into the chamber, and it'll jam up the gun real bad, and you won't be able to use it. So that doesn't work for rifles, but for handguns, you're perfectly fine. All right, folks, so that's going to take care of it for the video today. If you liked what you've seen on the channel thus far, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there below. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook. We try to post some weekly updates over there. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Trying to keep more stuff going on over there, keep things posted. But head over, check it out. Maybe think about giving us something to help keep the channel going. And be sure to stay tuned and keep your powder dry.